Alright, so since today is game one of the NBA Finals, I thought it would be wise of me to give y'all my finals prediction. And this year we have kind of a historic finals. We have the second eighth seed and first playing team to ever make the NBA Finals in the Miami Heat. And then we have, just your one seeded Denver Nuggets. Two teams on the completely opposite sides of the spectrum. One team had expectations to be in the finals, and if they weren't in the finals, this season would have looked like a failure, while the other team, no one expected them to be here, but they themselves wholeheartedly thought this is where they would be. So if you haven't noticed, I've picked against the Miami Heat in every series so far this playoffs. I picked the Milwaukee Bucks, I picked the New York Knicks, and I picked the Boston Celtics to beat them. And I'm going to do it once again. I know it may not be the wisest thing to do at this point, but I think the Denver Nuggets will be the team to knock them off. It just makes sense. When I look at all the people that the Heat have played up to this point, they've had the mental edge over these teams. Maybe not talent, but the mental edge. With the Milwaukee Bucks were looking past them. With the New York Knicks, they were just more ready for playoff basketball and were the better team. With the Boston Celtics, they were far more consistent and really just stayed more focused than the Celtics did that entire series, even though the Miami Heat almost choked a 3-0 lead. I don't think the Denver Nuggets are like that. I think the Denver Nuggets are the better team, more well-constructed, while also being on the same mental level that the Heat are on. The Nuggets are focused. The Nuggets know what's at stake, and they are not looking past or taking the Heat for granted. Because for them, they've been waiting for this moment for a really long time. If you look at the past few seasons, they've had Nikola Jokic put up historic numbers, but have no help. Now he finally has help. This is kind of the run that we've been waiting on the Nuggets to have, and it makes sense that it's happening now because they are fully healthy. Now, for this series, I do pick the Nuggets to win in about 5 or 6 games. I do not see this going 7 because I think the Nuggets are just too good. Now, I'm not going to lie, rest does play a big factor in how I think this series will go. The Heat are coming off, I think, 2 to 3 days of rest, coming off a series that was emotionally and physically grueling and that was 7 games long, while the Denver Nuggets are coming off a 4-0 sweep when they've been not playing basketball for about 10 to 9 days. And I understand how that could be hurtful and actually beneficial for both teams, but given that the Miami Heat are coming off such a short window of rest, and now they have to go 2 Mile High for the first 2 games, I don't think it bodes well for the Miami Heat. And if you weren't paying attention to the Game 7 between Boston and Miami, Miami came out exhausted, and that was Game 7. Boston really should have won that game because the Heat came out and they did nothing. They weren't able to get anything going offensively. They looked lackadaisical. They looked tired. It was just a fact. When we get into this series, I just don't know how the Heat match up with the Nuggets. I don't know how they stop Nikola Jokic. Because, yes, Bam is a great defender, all defensive team caliber, a defensive player of the year caliber type player. But I don't think he can hold a candle to Nikola Jokic. Sometimes with great players, all you can do is hope to slow them down. And they don't even have the pieces to slow Nikola Jokic down because you need bodies. I mean, the Lakers had Anthony Davis, and they weren't able to slow Jokic down. Mainly because they didn't really have anybody else to put on him. Rui was getting cooked. Jared Vanderbilt didn't even really get the assignment. They didn't have enough bodies to throw at him. And if you look at the Miami Heat, the only center that they really played last series was Bam Adebayo. Kevin Love didn't really play. I mean, they were running Hayward Highsmith at the 4, even the 5 sometimes. Now, I know in this series, Kevin Love will get a lot more burn because you just need the size. But I still think Jokic cooks them. Now, for the Heat, that may be the best thing. You may want Jokic to come out here and score all these points because if you haven't been watching, the Nuggets play much better when Nikola Jokic is the facilitator, not the scorer. Not saying that he can't score or that it's bad when he does score, but when he scores, he's not getting everybody else involved, not giving everybody else hot. And the worst thing when you're playing the Nuggets is for the others to go off, for players like KCP to get hot, Bruce Brown to get hot, Aaron Gordon, MPJ, Jamal Murray. You don't want anyone else to go off because that means their offense is clicking. Now, the Heat cannot play zone. The Heat play zone more than any NBA team that I've really ever seen in my lifetime, and that's not going to work against Nuggets. One, the Nuggets are a great three-point shooting team while also having one of the greatest passes we've ever seen pass a basketball in Nikola Jokic. He finds people thanks to the fact that he's 7 foot and will be the tallest person on the court and will be able to look over everybody. You can't play a zone against Jokic. Jokic will pick it apart. He has the shooters at his disposal that will make it happen. And Nikola Jokic is a lot like a quarterback in the way that he really does throw people open sometimes. Sometimes they're not even open, but he throws it in such a way or passes it in such a way that they get open, that they're able to take the best shot. Now, the Heat do have a chance. Even though I picked them to lose in 5 to 6 games, the best chance the Heat do have, honestly, is getting Jokic involved defensively. The Heat do such a good job of running high pick and rolls and really picking and probing who they want to attack. Like, they did such a good job against the Celtics of drawing Robert Williams out of the paint by getting those pick and rolls, getting those switches, forcing him to come out so Jimmy Butler can't attack him, get him in foul trouble, and just get easier buckets. It's easier to score when your rim protector's down in the paint. Now, against Jokic, they can do that and get switches. I just don't know how feasible that is because we've said that every series. And Nikola Jokic has proved to us this playoff run that, hey, I can play defense. I am not a matchup nightmare. Of course, I'm going to get beat sometimes, but it's not going to happen every single time. And while I do believe in the Heat's ability to score because this playoff run, they've been shooting lights out. Caleb Martin, Gabe Vincent, Max Strus, Duncan Robinson have kind of showed you that, hey, they can get buckets and hit threes in these big moments. The Heat just need Jimmy Butler and Bam to consistently be the second, third, sometimes best player on the court. You can't let Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. outplay those two. Because at the end of the day, you know Nikola Jokic is going to be the best player. He's going to control the game. He's going to go out there and dominate. You just can't let the others dominate, and you need your top two to play like it. Jimmy Butler hasn't really had a Jimmy Butler game. I mean, okay, I don't want to say that because against Boston, he did have like game 6 in the fourth quarter where he helped bring them back. He had that game 2 where he was out there just picking on Grant Williams. You need that to happen a lot in this series because at the end of the day, while your defense is great, I don't think they're going to stop the Nuggets offense. I think the Nuggets offense is that good. So their best case scenario is to go tit for tat, and hopefully you can get one stop at the end of the game. And to go tit for tat, you need Jimmy Butler to go out there and basically give you damn near 30 on a nightly basis. How possible is that? I don't know. But at the end of the day, I picked the Nuggets in 5 games. I think we're going to get a good series. And about those people complaining about the viewership, the views, y'all corny and weird because why do you care about what these billion-dollar companies are making? If you really like the sport of basketball, you're going to watch. And I think we're going to be in for a really fun and competitive series. I mean, Eric Spoelstra is not going to get manhandled this series. He's going to come up with something. He's going to cook something up. It's funny I say that even though I do pick the Nuggets to win in like 5 to 6 games. I just think they have that much more talent. And they're such a well-ly composed team while also being there mentally and having a really, really good coach in Mike Malone. But yeah, that's my finals pick. Let me hear your finals pick in the comments. Please just give me your perspective and how you see the series playing out. Please let me know. All right, I love y'all. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and tell a friend to tell a friend. I love y'all. Peace.